my two values, service and equanimity, right? Is I accept that, oh, at that point in time, when I was helping young people in conflict areas, that I accepted that there was still selfishness in there, and I was still being discriminatory. I was saying, I just discriminate, I just wanted to help this group of people. And when I realized that, I don't go, you bad person, you are hopeless, you cannot be a nun, you're not worthy to be a nun, you can't do this. I don't beat myself over this. I accepted this, and then I opened myself more. So that's kind of the balance between the two, is you don't burden yourself down with the negative emotions, but you take something negative and you turn it into something positive to say, I can move forward. Now I know what this is, so the next time, it's like going up the stairs. You'll be one step higher, one step higher, one step higher. Before you know it, you might be close to the point where you feel most fulfilled. It's just one step at a time. But you don't take that one step and you see that, oh gosh, I have like 10 more steps to go, and oh, you know what? I actually did not even step up. I was still on the same step. And then you kill yourself over this, because then you'll be very absorbed into that one step, and you won't be able to move forward after that. Or even when you move forward, you're pulling all the other stairs with you. And in the end is that it will come to a point where the stairs are going to be heavier than you are, and that momentum will be strong enough, it will pull you right back. And you would have lost everything that you've gained. But that's okay. Even if that happens, it's okay. As long as you realize that that is what you're anchoring yourself down to, and you release the anchor. Every single time you try to release the anchor, and you try to release the anchor, one day you'll succeed.
Okay, we take one last question. I know Sasha raised her hand, but another quick observation, folks. I think this is the quiet side, this the sleepy side. I may be wrong, and here's the awakened side. So let's see if that changes this afternoon.
Thank you. I think my question has been answered.
Okay.
It's also about how we criticize ourselves and other people, and so I'm also put a high standard for myself. But when I get older, I have a more. I know which part I can improve and which part I should accept who I am. So the part I can improve, I always push myself to be motivated for my dream, which is I'm a designer. I know my goal is I want to make a good product for people, and then they want to use the product for longer, not just change it all the time. So now I work for a computer company, and my frustration is when I see that people don't have that vision as mine, and they just want to keep refresh the product every year. That's my frustration. So what I do is I use my small power, little power, and try to influence them. And sometimes I fail, sometimes I success, but I don't feel bad if I failed. And so my frustration is if I see people, they don't have a good will, want to make a good product for good people, they just want to earn money to refresh the product. That's my frustration. Another frustration is when I see people don't have that motivation, or they are kind of lazy, not a good team member. I know everyone is imperfect. For myself, I'm imperfect too. But I can accept people are not smart enough. Like myself, I'm not smart enough. But when I see people they are lazy or not so motivated to make a good product, I really judge them in my mind, and then make myself feel bad.
Okay, thank you. I'm really appreciative actually of what Warren had also brought up, is all of you also shared your own personal stories and difficulties. One of the things that you were talking about too is this is our tendency because of our ego. We tend to personalize a lot of things. Like some of the problems, most of the problems you're talking about is not you. it's not your fault. It is a systemic problem, right? So what we tend to do is we personalize it into like, you know, my problem, and then you get frustrated. You feel it's your mission to go enlighten them, right? So the frustration of, you know, people wanting to just make money versus, you know, making good products that helps. I go through the same kind of frustrations too, but you set a goal for yourself of what you hope to do, right? For me, is I hope to be able to help more people live a more spiritually fulfilled, environmentally conscious, and a socially just way of life. That was what my goal is in my life. And in the process of doing this, you know, because I'm very passionate about the environment, as some of you will discover in the workshops that will come, that was my main motivation. And throughout the process of doing this, again, I face the same problems as what you have. People will say they want to make money versus, you know, doing something which they will leave a good legacy behind for people. But when you personalize it, you put the weight of solving the world's problems on your shoulders. And you cannot solve the problem by yourself. You need the help of a lot of people. It's what we say in Buddhism, causes and conditions. You need all the causes and conditions, and you're part of that to try to make that change. So in the process of getting to that goal that you were hoping to get to is a process, as what you're doing is you're learning. You just keep learning and keep learning, but don't feel bad about this process. This is the reality of the world, and you just keep trying to find the next right answer. And just keep doing, and one day, as you keep doing this, it will take you to a place that you never expected yourself to be. Even for me, about 12 years ago when I decided to go on this monastic path, I had in my mind where I'm going to be in 10 years. But guess what? I went with whatever the causes and conditions brought me to, and this was beyond what I expected where I would be. So you have a goal, but you know that you're working towards that goal, but you follow the causes and conditions. Don't personalize it, because again, when you personalize it, it's like, you know, you have an anchor that's going to weigh you down instead of let you soar and become who you can really be and let you blossom and discover your potential. So just let it go and just keep going to explore, find the next right answer, and find the next right answer. Know that you're not at fault. We are never at fault. There's many things that happened that created this. We take responsibility for our own actions. It's not saying that when we're not at fault means that we try to push the blame to everyone. No, we take responsibility, but you don't put the weight of the whole world on your shoulders. Okay?
Thank you.
上季法师, a special request from me, Name.
Okay.
One more question. Even though I said it was the last question, because after my tease about this side of the table, that gentleman raised his hand, so let's give this gentleman a hand. This side of the table, a big hand. They have awakened.
Okay, thank you, Master Chang, thank you for sharing all your experiences. It's a great talk. You mentioned Asian parents, and I see that most people here are Asian. And so I actually have a question regarding me from a Buddhist perspective. What kind of advice can you give me in my relationship with my parents, especially my mom? I guess to give you some background, you know, my mom, I guess we are they are very Asian, typical Asian parents. I think Asian parents, I don't know, they have somehow this concept that you should never praise your kids. It's punishment makes them better. Like the Chinese saying that, like 吃苦当吃补. And so I don't remember my parents ever praised me.
Chinese is not good, so I heard the first
Okay,
part, but I
yeah,
didn't get the last
well,
part.
I guess you can say like no pain, no gain. That's probably
Okay.
yeah. Bitterness leads to bitterness is like it's like a health supplement.
I would say eat bitterness.
Yeah, bitterness. Right. So I think for the longest time, I think all of our kids. I mean, I have 3 siblings, 4 kids, including me. We all have very low self-esteem. I think, even though nobody can understand why. I mean, we all went to college, and you know, we had good jobs and all that. So I think a couple of especially my little brother, he's very, very bitter. He's very angry with my parents, and he wouldn't see psychologists, psychiatrists. He's on depression, and then so the thing is, like you said, and I think it's a personal experience too, that for the longest time, I tried to please my parents, but I can never feel that they were happy, because there's always something that they're not happy with. Even to this day, my mom will always say that none of you turn out the way I wanted you guys to. Okay, and you're all just kind of disappointing to me. But so I was miserable too, just like the rest of my siblings. And I finally realized that I cannot change other people. I can only change myself. And so to be happy is to look within. And so I think that I'll agree. So I think I honestly can feel that I have forgiven my parents, because I truly believe that they did the best they could, given their environment, their upbringing, right? But the thing is now, my mom is, she's aging, and she is getting worse, because she, I think it's easy for us as outsiders to see why we don't want to talk to her, or that she doesn't have that many friends, because she's very full of herself, this kind of self-aggrandizement. And she feels that she's unhappy because my dad doesn't treat her well, because the kids are not obedient, we didn't talk the way we wanted. It's always somebody else. So now she's suffering from depression, and she's getting to dementia and all these issues. And so what happens is because I live here, my parents are in Taiwan. Everybody, my brother, my dad, they all tiptoe around her, like playing actors. They just feed her. Yeah, mom, you're the greatest. You're the most beautiful. And everything you say is right. And because she is kind of like that, but the thing is, what I notice is that she's getting worse. It's not helping her to live in this kind of illusion, even though she kind of wanted it, because so when I went back to Taiwan, and she said that, you changed, you don't talk to me anymore. We don't talk about anything. I said, well, you know what, because you're not willing to listen to anything. And then she started crying and wailing, and I got scorned by my dad. So you should never talk to your mom like that, because for Chinese children, obedience is how you pay your filial duties, right? So I think now the thing is, I don't think I want my mom to change anything for me. I love her, and I don't go back to the old history, like how maybe she hurted me in the past by saying this or that. But I want to help. Well, the thing is, I guess, for me to be like what my dad or my brother, what they do to just feed her what she wants to listen, is giving up. I want my mom to be happy for herself. But I guess I don't know what the truth is, but from what I could see is that her problem is really herself. If she's not willing to change, just like me, she can never be happy. She can, because if she wants my dad to be a certain way or us to be a certain way, I'm sorry that I love her, but I'm not going to change myself to please her. But so then to her, I'm an ungrateful son, kind of, and so but I don't want to be an actor around her too. Just feeding her, saying, mom, everything's right. Talk to her about weather or whatever that's nice and peaceful. But this is what I think my dad kept on telling me, that your mom is old. They cannot change. And I refuse to believe that. I think that as long as she's alive, there's hope that she could change. So am I being too stubborn, or how? Because I'm not sure how your parents see your decision to be a Buddhist monk. Whether they approve or not, and how do you help your parents? I want them to be happy, but I want to be a good son. I don't want to hurt her, but I don't want to see her fall into this. Because she's getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm so afraid that she might have to end up in a mental institute, because she has she's totally detached from what's real. And so she had no friend anymore, and even my dad tried to avoid her, kind of. So I want to help her. It's, I guess I babble too much, but I guess you probably get my point of trying to find that balance of, and I just want her to be happy.
Thank you for